welcome to Narnia. That's right, I stepped through the back of my wardrobe this morning and this is what greets me on the other side. No, not really. This is the second week of March in the UK and I have literally zero ideas of what is happening with the weather right now. It has been snowing since about yesterday afternoon. It only started very lightly, didn't look like it was going to settle, but as you can see, it's proper deep. We have actually had our flowers start budding. So spring is definitely on the approach, so I don't know what is going on here, I really don't. It's cold, I can assure you of that. The weather says -1. Not sure it's quite that, but yeah, certainly very cold anyway. Today was meant to be a run day. I was going to be taking you out and talking about some of the things coming up. Obviously not running in this. I have a feeling we might not be running for a few days in this. I think this is going to be quite compact, quite icy, quite dangerous for a few days. It's meant to dip as low as -4 in the next 3 days. So I'm not sure when we're going to go out running again, but that doesn't mean we haven't got a video coming your way. We do. I'm going to tell you about a new crazy challenge I'm going to set myself. So what I'd like to do, stay tuned. Thanks for coming back and joining us again. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Other people might be able to find the channel by your generosity, so thank you ever so much for coming back. We always do appreciate you coming back. Let's get inside, let's get warmed up. I've already had to let the dog in, bless her. She literally ran out here and then ran straight back to the back door. So you know it's bad. She normally loves running around in the garden. You know it's bad when the dog wants to go straight back in. Right, stay tuned guys, I'm going to get the kettle on and I will see you very shortly. Hello.
Hello.
Have you got your shoes on?
Yeah.
You're in your pyjamas, mate. You'll freeze.
I haven't seen this for so long. It's been like a year or two since I've seen this.
Yeah, a couple of years, isn't it?
I love making footprints. I could just do circuits of this place. Look at my goal. Don't stop me.
Okay then guys, hopefully you enjoyed that slight variations that run in there, and yeah, just to show you what else we get up to over here. So what I said to you at the start was I've come up with another small, not quite as crazy challenge as we normally go for, but it's more really to do with keeping me interested in running, getting some targets back in mind, and something we can hopefully make a series out of on this channel and show you as much running footage as we possibly can. I've decided to do a bit of a challenge inspired by others, I suppose, that I've seen. I'm going to attempt to do a 10k race in every county in England. Yep, that's right. Okay, so I am crazy, it's official. First and foremost, let's crack this down by numbers. There are actually 48 counties in England. Now, I'm not going to do Wales and Scotland and all the little islands, Isle of Wight, sorry, Isle of Skye, so on and so forth. We will do the Isle of Wight, we'll come on to that. So there are 48. Just going to run you through the map then that we've got. So, oh, blimey. Stay with me on this, all right, because I'm going to go through them all. So we've got Bedfordshire, Berkshire, Bristol. Now then, some of you will probably say, but Bristol's a city, and a lot of people actually refer to Bristol as being in Somerset. It's actually a county in its own right. I don't know the history of it, the politics of it, but apparently it dates back 700-800 years. So yeah, Bristol is a county all in its own right. It's also a city. It's the largest city in the southwest, actually. So I'm going to count Bristol as its own individual county. We've got Buckinghamshire, Cambridgeshire, Cheshire, Cornwall, Cumbria, Derbyshire, Devon, Dorset, Durham, Essex, Gloucestershire. Now this is a good one. You've got Greater London, but then you also have the City of London. Now the City of London, again, recognised as its own tiny county. So to try and find a 10k within that area, you're talking around the likes of, well, I think it's slightly to the east of Pall Mall. So I'll have to get a map up. In fact, actually, you know what? I'll put a map up right now of what the City of London county actually contains. It's not a lot. I haven't found a 10k race that starts in the City of London, but I have found a 10k race that goes through the City of London. So hopefully we'll do that one to count that. So yeah, you've got Greater London and the City of London. You've got Greater Manchester, Hampshire, Herefordshire, Hertfordshire, and then, as we're doing this alphabetically, as you might have seen, we've got the Isle of Wight, a tiny, tiny little island, which throughout many years of my life, I just thought was part of Hampshire. I knew it was a separate island, but I thought they just kind of lumped it onto the edge of Hampshire. But no, it's classed as its own little county. Spelt the Isle of Wicket. So if you've ever seen the Isle of Wicket on a map, it's actually the Isle of Wight. And not really looking forward to doing that one, because it does mean taking a ferry to get to the island first of all, and it also means hills. The only thing I know the Isle of Wight famous for is hills, so that should be interesting. Let's carry on then. So we've got still Kent, Lancashire, greatest county there ever is, was and will be, Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Merseyside, Norfolk, Northamptonshire, Northumberland, Nottinghamshire, Oxfordshire, Rutland. Now Rutland, very, very tiny county. And again, a lot of people bolt this onto Leicestershire. It's not actually part of Leicestershire. And if you actually ask any of the locals, they will soon tell you it's not part of Leicestershire. Don't you worry about that. Very, very tiny. But again, I'm pretty sure I can find a race that does encompass Rutland. The most famous thing I can think about Rutland is that they were the last county in England to get a McDonald's. Everything always comes back to McDonald's, trust me. So we've also got, we're going through this list now, Shropshire, Somerset, Staffordshire, Suffolk, Surrey, East Sussex, West Sussex. Not sure why they couldn't just have Sussex, but there you go. Tyne and Wear, Warwickshire, the West Midlands, Wiltshire, Worcestershire, and then finally Yorkshire. Now Yorkshire is so large, it's actually split into 4. You've got North Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, and I know you think what the last one might be, but it's actually East Riding of Yorkshire. I don't know. I don't know why. Don't ask me to explain why. I couldn't possibly tell you. Google it. I'm sure there's an answer out there somewhere. Why it can't just be East Yorkshire instead of East Riding of Yorkshire, I've got no idea. But there you go. So hopefully, if this has worked correctly, I've put a map up and I've shown you, as we've gone through the list, exactly where those counties are. The good thing is, I have already done some of these counties. So let's quickly recap some of those that I have already done. So we will start up in the northwest of England and Lancashire. So one of the early 10Ks that I've done, not the very first, but one of the earlier ones, I've done something called Run the Lights, which is done in Blackpool. Now every year we have something called Blackpool Illuminations. Think of it as Las Vegas if you were to be massively disappointed. It's a poor man's Las Vegas, basically. So, but we have the lights. They're a great tradition in the UK. Somebody semi-celebrity wise normally switches the lights on. If you've been on Love Island, you'll probably be asked to do it at some point in your life. Lucky you. Anyway, so we've got the 10k in Blackpool that we've done. Run the lights. Basically, they have to test all the lights, make sure they're working before the big switch on. And as part of that, the local council have agreed to shut the strip, and basically they allow a race to take part under the lights whilst they're being tested. It's actually quite nice because you have to run it at night. It's well lit anyway because they are testing the lights. But Blackpool has a lot of, how do we say this nicely? Stag and hen do's, which attract party atmospheres. There you go. Basically, it's full of drunks, but they are well up for cheering people. I mean, a raucous crowd, definitely. And it's great. You go right up from Blackpool Pier all the way up towards the theme park that they've got at the top, Blackpool Pleasure Island, and all the way back down. And like I say, running under the lights, it's fantastic. The only downside is you don't finish until 10, half 10, depending on when they actually get the race started. It's meant to start around 9, but again, it's always a bit flexible with when they actually turn the lights on. But that was great. Race that I took part in, a nice early one. We have done a previous video. I'll make sure I include it up there if you want to see the link. And I think I took some footage of Blackpool that day as well, so you can actually see what it actually looks like if you're that interested. So we've done Lancashire. We are also going to talk about the West Midlands. West Midlands encompasses places like Coventry, Birmingham, so on and so forth. Now, I've actually done a 10k, and it wasn't until I started looking back through this list I realised I've actually done a lot of these 10ks with Tom, somebody else you've seen on the channel quite often. So Tom, if you're watching this and you want to be part of this, mate, let's get some more 10ks in the bag. You know you want to. They're 10ks, not half marathons. So we done a race, Coventry. It was called Chase the Sun. So back into the summer, basically, you get to the park, they set you off at the night. The idea is obviously to complete it before the sun goes down. It's no real problem because they start it early enough that you can all do it. 4 laps of the park, one massive hill at the back of it, so you get to run that 4 times. Memorial Park in Coventry, so plenty of parking. It was good. It was a half decent race, to be fair. It was okay. Again, we took a camera out. I'll stick that link just above there. So we've done the West Mids. Leicestershire, done plenty of 10Ks in Leicestershire. Last one I can remember doing is the big 10K. Again, took the camera out, check that link out. There's always a 10K in Leicestershire I'm doing, so hopefully we can tick that one off. Where else have we been? Oh, Cheshire. Cheshire. Now, again, me and Tom completed a 10K in Chester. This was actually only about 3 days before we'd done the Coventry one. And the heat was phenomenal that day. I mean, proper burn you. You know, it was tough going. It really was. Took the camera out that day, so I'll put that up there again. Chester 10K was fantastic. The only thing I would say is once you actually get out from the main street where they were using hose pipes to cool you down, beautiful. It's a bit of a long slog, and then you just basically horseshoe it, U-turn right at the end all the way back. You do divert a little bit, but it was hard going that day, I think mainly because of the heat in all honesty. But so we've done Cheshire. Again, that one was Tom. Another one with Tom, we went to Bedford Aerodrome, a nice circuit basically, used primarily I suppose these days for karting and things like that, I believe. Completely flat. The only trouble is it was wide open to the elements, so when you went running down that back straight and the wind was against you, boy did you know it. You really did know it. But Bedfordshire, another one we can tick off. There are others as well, and I'll try and put them in as we go now and explain as we go through, but the map is starting to take progress. Another 10K that has been completed is Staffordshire. Again, me and Tom, we took on the 10K of Stafford, and in fact he's doing the half marathon in Stafford. Unfortunately I can't join him. I was due to do it, but I'm still injured, I'm still on the recovery, and I can't run 13 miles, so we can't do that. But we'd both done the 10K, and in fact, actually, Stafford was my PB. I didn't take the camera that day because I knew the course was going to be relatively flat, and I was determined to go out for a race PB that day, and I believe I struck 47 minutes and change. But again, I'll try and put up the time below so you can have a look for yourself. I did do a 10K with Tim. We went to Normanby Hall, and I cannot for the life of me, I believe that's Lincolnshire. I'll put up a map diagram and we'll show you which county we ticked off. Normanby Hall, awesome. People who organise that, fantastic. The only downside is that particular year, I think there was a part closed off, so they had to make you do a lap of a field at the end, which they said was great because they'd freshly cut it for you. It's still a field, cut it however you want. It's still a field. I wasn't happy with that part. But in return, there was cake at the end. You provide me cake at the end, we ain't got an issue. You put on any race you want, I'll be there. Cake. Just, yeah, cake. So that's Lincolnshire done. I'm sure we've probably done other counties. I think, I hope, maybe not. As we go along though, we're going to fill in the map so that you can see where we're going, what we've got planned, what we're doing, and hopefully you can follow along in the series. And if you are watching this and you know of a 10K in your local area in England, in a county that we haven't been to, please do. Drop us a comment below, let us know. We'd like to have a look at it because we are determined to mark off this map and we're going to cover the entirety of England doing 10K races. Hopefully that's enough to keep you coming back. If you have liked this video, give us a thumbs up please, and hit that subscribe button. I'm ever so sorry it's not running this time around, and I'm sorry that this video is slightly late as well. Last minute change of plans thanks to this god-awful weather. More running definitely coming your way, and we've got some really exciting news in the next video that I'm going to tell you about. Thank you for coming back. If you haven't already done so, please do hit that subscribe button. We always welcome people coming back to the channel. Leave a comment below, like I say, any 10K that you're aware of that you think might be interested to take part in, or even if you're doing a 10K and you'd like to feature on this channel, let us know and maybe we can come and join you. I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you like the idea of the challenge, and we will see you next time when we're back out and running. Until then, take care.